Hello everyone, and welcome to my manga read along for One Piece chapter 1188. In the live chat, we have Modru, Juno, Hachi, Rohit is here, Booty, Hunter, Walid. Wait, Walid, are you staying? Tiago joined us. And before we get started with the new chapter, I need to get something off my chest regarding last week's read along, because I think someone shared my video, because in a span of 10 minutes I got 10 comments from Sanji fans being angry at me. So I think someone shared my video on some kind of fan page and said go hit comment on her videos because she hates Sanji. And I just want to point out that, wait, let's start with the video. The video is the most important part because it's the underlying message of everything I'm going to say. So let me just...
Now, Mike and Straw Mike are no longer arguing about the same point, and so the conversation will quickly become unfocused and aggressive, which is never fun. If you're gonna win an argument, you want to win against what the other side actually thinks, don't you? A straw man argument keeps that from happening. I hope this description of the straw man fallacy has been helpful.
Yes, because this is very important. I want to read it again. The conversation will quickly become unfocused and aggressive, which is why I got frustrated last week with someone who kept trying to argue with me about something that I didn't actually say. And a lot of the comments, 10 comments in 10 minutes, clearly no one listened to my actual video or anything that I said. So to clarify, however, I don't feel the need to defend myself from things that I didn't say, but there was one person who seemed at least interested to discuss, and I did clear it up with them, but since they misunderstood it, I want to clear it up with everyone. Okay, there's actually two things. The first one is this. Let me use paint to illustrate for you guys. So never once did I ever in any video, if I did, you can point me to that video, but Booty even checked another chapter read along, the last chapter read along. I never once said that Jinbei is stronger than Sanji. I don't know why people started shitting on Jinbei as if I said that. All I said was, for me personally, and you can't really argue with someone about their opinion because it's just an opinion. You don't have to agree. But so the monster trio has always been a big thing. There was a huge gap in my mind between the monster trio and the rest of the Straw Hats. Until, for me, Jinbei joined. And it doesn't matter. I never even thought that deeply about where exactly I would place him. But he shortened the gap between the monster trio. So they did that name, that title, didn't carry the same weight to me. So I was very excited, for when any character in the monster trio might have a power up or something, because it feels like it's bringing back that nostalgia, that feeling of, that doesn't mean that I'm saying it's objectively true, but I was trying to explain my feeling, because obviously I do read-alongs and do personal reviews. Like, no one's two perspectives are going to really be the same. That's why we read together. That's why we have conversations. So I'm not going to argue with people, and I actually really not dislike, but I don't even think Sanji would... No, let's try again. Sanji would slap you in the face if he heard the way you were talking about Jinbei. You can... Because they are nakama, because they're in the same crew, there will be times that they fight. If you love someone, you'll fight sometimes. But other people don't talk shit about your family, right? You can disagree with something, of course. You don't have to agree with everything a character does or a mangaka does. Even, like, there's thousands of chapters, no? Hundreds of chapters in One Piece. You're not going to think the same about every single character, every single decision, every single arc. That's why we're discussing, because it's interesting. But I really don't understand why people took such offense at me saying what I said, because I never said that that Jinbei is stronger. And even if I did think that, the response was weirdly aggressive. Like, you don't need to be so, how to say, that's what I think I mentioned in one reply at some point. You're acting like you're threatened. But you don't need to be. No one said Jinbei is stronger, so pull up your diapers and take a deep breath and let's have a conversation about what I actually said. What I did say in another part was, sorry, I had to write this down. Oh, finally, I said at the end of the chapter read along, I said, finally, I want this for Sanji. It's about time. And people apparently interpreted that as Sanji should just get the fuck over his trauma already. Why would you assume the worst thing? It's very interesting. I feel like mentally that shows where you're at. But that's an example of, I'm responsible for what I say, not what you think I said. Because what I actually said was, the groundwork for Sanji's character has been laid hundreds of episodes. The groundwork for this part of Sanji's character, this power-up almost, you want to say, the groundwork for it has been laid in Whole Cake Island, which was literally hundreds of chapters ago. I was like, finally it's paying off. Finally, we're getting to see the fruits. Because it goes from a seed, it sprouts, and it's like, So yeah, finally it's paying off. Finally, we're getting to see what Oda, planted back then. I don't know. I didn't think it was that deep. I was just excited. But apparently that was very offensive because people immediately assumed that I said, oh, it's about time he gets over his trauma, which is not at all what I said, but okay. So now that that has been just clarified, in the future, please remember that video about the straw man argument, because I won't entertain. I'll do my best not to entertain anymore people arguing with me about something I didn't say, because I do get defensive, because I don't like being misinterpreted. It's very annoying to me. It's been happening for a very long time. Hunter x Hunter fans, Attack on Titan fans, Naruto fans. No, I'm joking. I don't really know if there was any Naruto fans like that. The only thing I remember about Naruto is Pain fans. They were just kind of funny. Anyway, so now that all of that is out of the way, I'm glad I could keep it under 10 minutes. We can move on. And I can be excited, as I always was, for any character's development, because I was worried, like, if you have too many negative interactions with specific kinds of fans, if you carry that feeling, it can project poorly onto a character or even a series. I had to take a break from Hunter x Hunter for a while, and I don't want extreme Sanji fans to ruin Sanji as a character for me. Please take note, in today's anime episode, episode 1169, even Scopper Gaban had arguments with Roger. Heated arguments. They didn't agree. And you never need to agree with everything about someone or everything that they did that means that you love them. Like, that was what annoyed me the most, is just the amount of random, I almost said a bad word, asshats who commented that I hate Sanji. I'm like, you don't even know. You don't have to agree with everything about someone in order to love them. I wouldn't have married Hanku, dedicated my life to spending with him, if I agreed with every single thing he thinks and does, and that's not what love is. That's what delusion is. So please take your delusional takes elsewhere. But if you don't, I will do you a favor and I will just ban you. So you don't annoy me and I don't annoy you, most importantly. Okay, so now we can move on. The chapter ended with Luffy, who zoomed in back at full energy And wait, he punched him and then said, "Get the F out." No, not that, but he said, "Get out now, like you're done." And that happened, and then Imu barely looks like it phased him. Like he was unprepared in that moment for the punch, but it didn't leave a scratch. And he just says, "There thou art, Joy Boy." But Luffy said, "Quit calling me all these different names. I'm Luffy, the man who will be the king of the pirates." So that's where we ended. And I already accidentally saw, this is what my eye caught. Color spread. Let me just turn the page so that I can see it properly. Okay, we have what's this? Okay? Yes, it's Nami's cleavage, but look behind that. What's this? Damn. Sorry. Damn. I think I was just possessed by my man of culture spirit. Holy wow, that's a pretty picture of Nami. And we have Usopp being chased by a shark. No way. Oh, it's air. It's so Sanji has it over here. It's the same thing. It's like the air that they use to breathe underwater. We have Robin and Frankie in a little bubble over there. Very cute. I'm sad we don't get to see Robin from close by, but it's okay. We have a very cute Chopper pressing his little cheeks up against the... That's too cute. Zoro sleeping, as he does. Jinbei swimming into... That's one thing I wanted to say. Put Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei in the ocean and then see who can put up the best fight. No, I'm joking. There's obviously each character has different strengths. That's what Luffy said since Arlong Park. I can't cook, I can't read maps, I can't even lie. I can't fight with swords, I can't fight in the ocean, but together they're a team. And they all have their own strengths. Frankie's hair is a fish. Oi, oi. A bunch of shark doing a salute to Jinbei. They look afraid. Yeah, they don't look afraid of Sanji, do they? Okay, I'll stop. Hey, look, Sanji being jealous of a turtle getting close to Nami. See, you did the same thing I did. You can't help but make fun. But the thing is, when people make themselves a target, am I to blame when I shoot? Sorry, that's another joke. Don't make yourself such easy targets. Okay, here we go. The chapter is called... I don't know. VOHU. VOHU? Hello? Come in. Hello? What? Huh? Who are you? Mu? I am Imu. Who art thou? Oh, me? I'm Joy Boy. And then panting like... Indeed, Joy Boy is long dead. So it's like he remembered their first meeting. You know what it kind of sounds like? It sounds like... My first thought was, with this part, only that part, it was kind of reminded me of Loki speaking to someone on the Denden Mushi. And remember how we were theorizing and it's basically confirmed that it's Shirahoshi, right? Kind of reminded me of that. Indeed, Joy Boy is long dead. So, why dost thou remind Mu of that time? He doesn't like to be reminded of that time. then a flame wraps itself around his arm, like a black flame. Whoop, 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 whoop. How should I know? And then I think Emu attacks. He makes the first move here. Is that Luffy's head? He dodged. Below us! Down, down! Hmm? What? And then he gets bonked on the head, but he threw his head down. Why? Okay, but he gets bonked hard. Explosion. And then he scrambles around on the floor a little bit, but he jumps right back up. Dong! And his face is all covered in soot or whatever ashes is called. And he throws a punch. Whoosh! But I think he misses, and Emu's right behind him. And then Emu stabs him with the thing, but then he's gone. And it didn't reach him, okay? But he tried to stab him. And where's Luffy? I think Luffy then from further away throws an attack. Actually, it's sometimes so difficult to follow. Especially if they're fighting in the sky. But anyway, I think he so I think he tries to punch him, but then he blocks. Ugh! I was able to hit you before! And then he does like, I feel like I'm scared to do this because I don't want to summon some kind of demon myself, but he does like this kind of ninja info card. So a little fire move with his hand, and then Bakokokom! Lots of explosions in this fight. Close one. Whew. So Looney Tune runs away. And then he keeps aiming. And these little fireballs, these little black balls of fire, they seem kind of sentient or self-conscious or self-aware. So, whoa, they're chasing me. Are those supposed to be bombs? And then, oof, Gomu Gomu, he stops running and he turns and throws punches. Jet Gatling, but they explode. Spirit fires are so goofy. And then Emu kind of looks surprised when he hears Gomu Gomu. What the? That's new! What the hell? Gomu Gomu Genie? Ho 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 ho! Oh, yeah, I saw your fight with Loki, and I won't let his death be in vain. I'm still alive, you moron! What? What is a genie in Japanese? Majin? Where did that come from? I'm just trying to think, like, because sometimes his moves are based on things that happened before, like the windmill. Remember the windmill attack? And even though it was filler, there was fireworks, and that's why he does the hanabi. Like, a lot of them, Big Mom son had a genie. He could have learned from that. But it kind of feels like it's out of the blue, but he must have picked it up somewhere. But then not every single move, we haven't been shown where it comes from, but even to some extent, we saw where Axe came from when we got some flashbacks, right? But yeah, okay, genie, there we go. This is interesting. Why is his nose like that? And then he's got this crazy ass beard and this. I wonder if. I know this is like off the top of my head. But you know how the Looney Tunes inspiration, it kind of conveys the essence of Gear 5 being almost transcendent joy and laughter, you know, like I can I can get more into that at another time, but I think there's a very strong theme in Gear 5 there. But it's linked to something as simple as the Looney Tunes, which some people, they started calling it the Looney Tunes because it was an insult, but it's not. I think it's amazing. Maybe it's because I'm biased, because Looney Tunes was a big part of my childhood, and any classical music that I know is actually, I first heard it from Looney Tunes. I absolutely love Looney Tunes. It made me so happy as a kid. So, what if, do you think, and I mean, think about it. You know the eels from one of the earliest chapters? They look very similar to the eels that the witch in Little Mermaid has. So my idea is like, what if this is kind of like an Aladdin nod to Aladdin? Because it's not like Oda hasn't potentially made nods to Disney before. Because I personally think that those eels, early on somewhere, there was an eel, or maybe more than one eel. There was two, I don't know. And they looked an awful lot like the eels from Little Mermaid. And what if this is kind of like just another nod to not only Disney, but someone as great as what, Robin Williams? I never remember his surname. And I mean, think about it, like people like Oda, people like, I don't know, but creators, writers, visionaries, people with wild imaginations, they must take some inspiration from each other. Like, and Robin, is it Robin Williams? Let me just Google. And think about this. The guy that's Diamante's design is based on. What is Diamante's design based on? Mick Jagger? No. The guy from Aerosmith. I forgot his name. But my point is, don't you think Oda would have loved Robin Williams movies? Don't you think? So maybe it's just a little nod to that. Steve Tyler, thank you. So my point is, it's not out of the ordinary to see references in One Piece. It is a little surprising to see Gear 5 genie form, but when you think about it, it's actually very Oda, you know? I love how he's like, I saw your fight with Loki. I won't let his death be in vain. And then Loki immediately, I'm still alive, you moron. Wheezing all the while. Oh, hey Loki, you're alive! He really didn't know. He really thought he was fighting to avenge freaking Loki. Oh crap, damn it! Move, Ragnir! So he looks like he's going to attack this way, and Loki's in the line of fire. Huh? Guess who showed up? Guess who showed up? Because he was doing nothing all this time. Please, Booty, send me your list of things that he hasn't done. But here he is again, not doing something. Arabesque breakfast. Jinbei? Luffy, do you want me to make sure he's protected? Yes, perfect. Thanks, Jinbei. He's my pal. I ain't nobody's pal, stupid pipsqueak. All right, I can do that. You focus on the fight. Wait, that's Luffy? He's fighting that guy from before. Is he gonna be alright? Who is that guy anyway? The only people higher than the Knights of God are supposed to be the 5 elders, as far as I know. And the empty throne. So maybe he's the Knights commander. I bet that's it. There's no group more shrouded in mystery than the world government. I made that clip specifically for these moments. Even if my video will get blocked, most likely in Russia again, for playing 5 seconds of Michael Jackson. That happened yesterday in a gaming video. But, yes, there's no group more shrouded in mystery than the world government. Hey, Brooke, she's almost out. Princess Shuri, what's our next step? What does one do with a frozen person? Well, let's see. When Robin and Luffy got frozen, I immediately thought of that time. They made them nice and toasty. They've been frozen before? Gunko, couldst thou not break that ice? Huh? A man with an afro calling Gunko Princess Shuri? Could it be? Oh, he's speaking like to Gunko, but like not literally, like speaking to himself, but Gunko, could thou not break that ice? I can't speak like him. Couldst thou not break that ice? A man with an afro calling Gunko Princess Shuri. Could it be? And then, caught you slipping. What? Caught you slipping bullet. What does that mean? Is it a move? It's like he wasn't paying attention. And then he's like, caught you slipping bullet? Caught you slipping bullet? I can't tell what that means. I caught you and then doing the move called slipping bullet, or I caught you slipping bullet. That doesn't make sense. Damn you, English literature classes. I can't wait to see who his voice actor will be. Walid, how didn't I know that you read One Piece? Or did I forget? I'm so shocked, but it's so good to see you here. Okay, so anyway, Luffy says something about caught you and then punches or attempts to punch Emu, and Emu says, were thou not watching earlier? Shing! What? No! Watching what happened to Loki, despite his size? Stigma. Oh no. And then, so he marks his beard. Can't they just cut his beard off? I'll punch your beard off. Sorry, that's a meme. I don't know from where, but Hanku's youngest brother keeps always saying it. I'll punch his beard off. Something like that. Anyway, so he shoots another round of bomb spirit fire, and they go zoom, and Luffy Looney Tunes runs away. Yeah! And then Emu lands with a shud. Emu attacked the ice while he was going to free Somers and killing him. He probably is surprised the ice is still there. Oh damn! The next page. So he's swinging some stuff, baton, I don't know. And then a sword comes out. I think he puts away one weapon and pulls out another. Blade of Nothingness. VOHU. Oh, VOHU. That's the title. Did he just... Did his outfit change? Does this man do magical girl transformations with each weapon, or am I imagining it? No, it was like that. But it's just the first time we can see it. Like, this is, well, not the first time, but the first time in this chapter. That looks freaking imposing, huh? Dun, dun, dun. I think I remember his puffy pants from behind. But yeah, it's got skulls, it's got ringlets, it's got stripes. He's got a lot going on. Yeah, it just feels like it's more detailed now. So yeah, he pulls out the blade of nothingness, VOHU. And I'm not sure what's happening here. Is it just showing? And look at that symbol on his cape. And look at his tail and his horns and the dots on his skin. And so then there's a path. I don't know, has that path been there? Or because a path of, there's like a branch, but it's carved. And Luffy probably ran away because he's running from the, okay, I'm not really sure the flow of this moment. Luffy attacks. Sorry, I'm going back to page 13. Luffy attacks. And then he does the whole bell thing on his beard and says stigma. Poop. And Luffy changes back. That was quick. The whole genie form. And he sends out the bombs. Luffy runs. He, I think, puts the one weapon back, pulls out another one. And then, oh, it just shows from the aura of this blade, the leaves are falling from the trees, literally dying. And the path is clear. It looks completely different. In maybe like towards where he is pointing. Like the leaves are literally fell off on all of these trees. And Luffy says, huh? The forest dried out. The view is clearer now. Oh, that's Luffy saying the view is clearer. Oh no, that's Imu. The view is clearer now. And then Luffy says, same from up here. No! Oh shit. Is this what you wanted? You sons of bitches! You made Oda do this because you kept complaining about Luffy being able to land a punch! I blame you! Of course I know that thou art not Joy Boy. Huh? Go! Joy Boy was not this weak. No, that's so much blood! I'm so scared! The problem is, those same people who were complaining before are gonna complain again when Luffy heals from this. Jinbei, we need your blood again! This is really bad. Oh shit. Oh shit. Blade of Nothingness. Luffy's been through this before. It's another crocodile situation. And the break next week? Of course there's a break next week! What has been Luffy's biggest defeats? Is there a list that I can look at? But that's a lot of blood. That's more blood on one single page than all of Super. That was a joke. Manga can be darker. I'm just kidding. It's my new favorite thing to say. Whenever there's blood on the screen, I just make a joke and say that's more blood than all of Super. Crocodile and Kaido. Do we have pictures? Like, I want to compare them side by side. And Shabondi was pretty wild too. If the anime goes this dark with the blood, color me impressed. Probably Aokiji. That one literally spared his life after thinking about it. When there's been lots of times. Ooh, remember that time with the poison? Oh, right, when he was frozen. I remember the freezing part. I don't remember, like, what happened around it. Yeah, Mazalan's poisoned, but remember afterwards also, like, trying to heal from that. And the Bon Clay, what did he say? Gambare! Gambare! There's lots of times Luffy's almost died. But it's never easy to see. No matter, even if you know he's the MC and he's gonna recover, it's never easy to see. Especially not when there's literally like blood all over and hanging down and he's in freaking Gear 5 form. Like, this is his strongest form. But this is exactly what people wanted from Emu. Exactly. Okay, let's take a look at the manga chat. What everyone said. When was this? Emu to Luffy. You're not him. Sorry. Not yet. One thing I noticed during the fight is that the omen ring behind Emu seems to be warning him with future attacks because it made a sound, tick-tick, and Emu instantly blocked Luffy. Maybe the eyes in the ring are conscious. Maybe the eyes have a future sight haki and he doesn't actually have it himself and he... I don't know. Wait a minute. I thought Jinbei was weak. Blocked an attack from Emu. I just wish, I want to tell you guys, I want to show you, like, I don't have to read the names. Jinbei is clearly shown not to be part of the monster trio. It's only a gag with his bounty. But Sanji has clearly been seen stronger than Jinbei. Those were the kind of comments. Not once did I say Jinbei is stronger than Sanji. Not once. Then here's another one. Jinbei was never in the monster trio. It was always Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. I never said he was. Don't know where that's coming from. During Wano, it changed to Luffy and his wings. Jinbei is down there competing with Robin and Brook over the irrelevant fourth strongest. How fucking disgusting to talk about the Straw Hats that way. They are nakama. They would not stand for you to talk that way. Sanji would kick you in the balls if he heard you talking away about his nakama. How can you call yourself a One Piece fan? Like, it's one thing to disagree with what a character does. Hi, Jin. But this comes from a hateful place. Doesn't it feel that way? And then another comment. Her hate towards Sanji is endless. Meanwhile, oops, look. I took a screenshot of this. 3 hours ago, her hate towards Sanji is endless. Didn't read a word of what I said or listen. Meanwhile, 4 hours ago, I posted Sanji fans are winning. Never did I ever find... Imagine disagreeing with a character means you hate them. And I didn't even disagree with him since Eddie's lobby. And listen to this one. Don't fucking mention Jinbei in the Monster Trio speech. Jinbei is never ever be in Monster Trio, even in Wano. Sanji fought Queen, one of the commander of Kaido. That is what they type, commander. And Jinbei fought who is who. People who mention Jinbei in Monster Trio, which I never did, is the Zoro fans who want to downplay Sanji and hate Sanji. I didn't even say Sanji. I said the monster trio. That's Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji. The title seems slightly less impactful to me because Jinbei closed the gap between their level versus the other Straw Hats. Everyone has their own strengths though. It doesn't mean they're less worthy, but just in terms of fighting ability, Jinbei to me closed the gap. That's all I said. And then these people going... And even in this arc, What Jinbei done? Being a firefighter? They're calling me hateful when I was only excited about Sanji getting a freaking power-up after the seeds were planted in Whole Cake Island hundreds of chapters ago. I was excited for Sanji. What's their response? Absolute hate. Freaking Robin and Brooke catching flyaways. What's your problem? This one. Jinbei has done nothing to threaten Sanji's power. The only thing he has over him is a bounty. He's literally done nothing since Egghead. Egghead was the lost arc. The lost arc. So, yeah, they were very difficult. I tried to talk to a few, but in the end I realized, why am I letting them, for the 1000th time, why do you let idiots drag you down and beat you with experience? There's no talking to someone who is fighting from a delusional standpoint. Anyway. And this arc was 75% flashbacks. Yeah. First they've gone after Usopp, now after Jinbei. It's never ending with them. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So Rohit said, one thing I noticed during the fight, okay, so that was about the rings behind him. Maybe having future sight or helping Imu in some way. Then we have, by the way, the same attack that Zoro and Sanji couldn't block. No way! Are you joking? That is actually the same attack? Well. Does Oda listen to the fandom and he's like, I best shut them up? Like, I'm not gonna scream and gloat. Once again, this does not prove, and I will emphasize that I never said this does not prove that Jinbei is stronger. But, like I said, he can hold his damn own. He can, he shortens the gap immensely. And Jinbei can fight enemies that no one else can. He can fight like a queen. If there was a fish queen, you know, he would be the one to fight fish queen. No one could defeat Eneru the way Luffy can. Like, that's the whole thing. That's what different strengths mean. Doesn't mean one is stronger, and I once again never said Jinbei is stronger, but the man lessens the gap. At the very least, we can say that. It's almost like they all have different overlapping kinds of strengths that work as a group. Almost. It's like, it does seem that way, doesn't it, huh? Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it's like the exact same attack. Whew. My Jinbei heart. My Jinbei loving. Why you made me see it again? I was unprepared. Oof, Imu just did a crocodile to Luffy. Luffy just needs to be rescued now, while Imu doesn't bother to confirm the kill. That's what the cocky mother truckers do. They are too... It's like stepping on an ant. You don't check. You swat a fly. You don't check. Well, I don't know. I check if I got a mosquito, though. But, like, if a fly bothers you, you, like, kind of whack him away. And have you ever had that moment where a fly, like... You know, it's like an annoying freaking fly to him. But to be fair, he is in a weakened state. So it's probably more annoying than that. I'm exaggerating for effect. But that's why people or creatures like Imu never check. They don't need to. But thank goodness for that. I think Imu will eventually retreat due to whatever is bothering him from leaving Marijoa. Yes. And then just like in Shabondi, we're going to have to realize like, oh shit, we need the training arc. I feel like his time will be fully up next chapter and he's forced to return. That could be. The theory of Imu having 20 past king's weapons is becoming true every chapter. If we count Stigma, Nemesis, VOHU, Guramu, a spear and a gun summoned by the book, we arrive at 6 weapons, or 7 if we count his book. You know what that reminds me of? Persona 5. I won't say what or why, but if you've played Persona 5, Royal or the base one, whatever, doesn't that seem familiar, Tiago? Not obviously not meaning that Oda played Persona 5 and is taking inspiration. No, just a lot of these things are most likely inspired by mythology and stuff. I feel like this time limit will be... Oh, I read that, sorry. Rohit said, to be honest, I never expected for Luffy to go down so early. I expected 2 or 3 chapters like Loki. He was injured too, and usually Luffy gets his strength back by eating a lot, so he didn't have any fatigue or weariness. This means he's nowhere near Imu and Joibo's level yet, and he needs more mastery. Mastery and training for Gear 5. 100%. So, when did Oda say One Piece was gonna end? About a year from now or something? Please no, please no, please no, please no, please no. Let him train. I want to see the training arc. Tiago says what he needs is a hero to give him more meat. Spot the flesh wound! Such a Soto's joke, and he's not even here to enjoy it with us. I don't think that will help. He was eating for 5 to 6 chapters. To add another thing, Imu and Zaza has a ring behind them. Not like Zoan awakening scarves. And Luffy doesn't have that yet. It's possible that Gear 6 with a fire ring in the future. Is it possible there will be a Gear 6 with a fire ring in the future? How about Gear 5.5? This is so true. Right now, I can't see anyone beating me. Please, can we go back to my video from last time when I read this? Did I call out the flag? Because that is such a big-ass flag. How did... It was like Oda was warning us very explicitly, actually. I feel like they established that Luffy has a way to go when the robot used the knot of Joy Boy's haki back in the A. Huh? I feel like they established that Luffy has a ways to go. Oh, when the robot used the knot of Joy Boy's haki back in Egghead. Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly, yeah, that it was well established because they needed so much help there. They basically just had to escape. They couldn't really stand and fight. They had to run. The spider gave them that much trouble, and that's the spider. And that was like just the other day. Not in terms of when the chapters came out, but in terms of the time in the manga, because it was when they were around the time when they were sailing, just before they sailed to Elbaf. So my point is, they haven't been in Elbaf that long. Although we don't know how much time is passing on the outside. But my point is, for them, it's like just a while ago. I think Imu had no reason to talk to Luffy that much. That's why he didn't waste time. That's what Silent Swifty says. Okay. I don't understand this image. I won't show it. Would it be funny and interesting if Ancient Kingdom was so advanced that video games existed and Emu and Joyboy met for the first in a video game session and having a conversation through a microphone? Joyboy being a nickname in a video game or they met in space. That's a big jump from playing video games together online to they met in space. I would watch One Piece in space. I think it's the natural progression of humanity. We go from sticks and caves and fire. Look at the Dr. Stone. What, 2,000 years. Where's the next frontier? We're always looking for the next frontier. Space is next. Now we just gotta see a Loki and Luffy 80s movie style training montage. I'd pay to see it. I think this is what Waleed says. I think Jinbei destroyed it before the attack reached him. Like, he made it explode before it reached him, and when Emu's attack explode, because that's how Jinbei moves works. Zoro and Sanji wasn't aware of what Emu attack was at the point. If they know, they would have used moves that destroy it before it reached them. I don't understand that. I don't think this proves, once again, I said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think that this proves that he's stronger. Like, we can make jokes, haha. But because one person can do one thing and another person can't, it's like Jinbei, the fighting in the ocean when others can't. It's different strengths. But my whole point ever was he can hold his own, and that's all that this is saying. I can't really tell though. He used arabesque brick first. But he hadn't seen, like, in that moment, he knew exactly what to do. Like, that says a lot. It's not like he had more time to prepare or anything like that. But let's just wait and see what those haters from last week say now to maintain their delusion. Let's just wait and see. Because you best believe they'll find a way. And we talked about it. For some reason, they think it's easier to drag down one character to prove the strength of another rather than just... Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. This is my favorite one so far. Shalafi. Shalafi. My favorite so far. Sorry. Emu was clearly tired after fighting Sanji a few weeks ago. That's what they'll say. And right after he suddenly got his strength back so that he could stab Luffy. The spirit flames are like rockets. They explode on impact. They just made an impact point before the spirit flame reached their target. But the point is, he thought to do that. Okay, let's do my usual. See what the fans have to say on X. Although, Waleed says, Jinbei's move always damaged without him making contact with what he punched. Sorry if my comment on Discord wasn't clear. I mean, I acknowledge that it was clear. Should I repeat myself again? I said, yes, but he could still do it when they can't. Just like he can fight in the ocean when they can't. Because the Straw Hats have different strengths, but he can hold his own, which was my whole point from last week. Thank you, Hanku. So, is there more to talk about? Or can I move on? Ugh, sorry, I saw something I don't want to see. Okay. Roger is by far the funniest character in One Piece, man. Inward, not with R, found out about Emu's existence and instantly gave himself up to the Marines. Hey, y'all future boys got this one. I'm retiring. Didn't he get sick? Or that's a troll? Probably a troll, right? Farming in farming for interactions. Okay. According to TV show Mr. Sunday, Luffy having no thought bubbles was one of the reasons why editors rejected One Piece multiple times before serialization. They complained, Shonen Jump target audience can't understand what Luffy is thinking. They already started slandering Roger. POV, Shanks coming to save Elbaf and giving Luffy the credit of defeating Emu, so Roger doesn't look like a bum. What? I don't understand. Why? Where's the Roger slander coming from? Why? I searched One Piece 1188 and all I'm seeing is something stuff from heroines. Just farming for interaction. People have never had a date in their life. Farming for interaction. They're bored because they can't get dates, so they farm interactions on Twitter. Okay, I clicked the hashtag now and it says, the first one says, I'm starting to think that it's not a coincidence at all that Oda framed Luffy punching Emu in almost exactly the same way as Luffy punching Sharlos. Could it be that Oda is setting up for an upscaled repetition of the Shabondi scenario, where Luffy is forced to admit they're not ready to face these enemies? Yup. That, I can see that. I can see Oda thinking like that. I don't Actually, Chebek was just lucky that Emu was playing with the butterflies at that moment. I don't even think that's an insult. I just think that people are, what do you call the kids nowadays? They say glazing. People are glazing Chebek, but they're not even realizing that you can't compare a moment like that to what's going on here. Luffy's drums of liberation got stopped, just like how Ichigo's theme music got stopped by Aizen. Oh my god. The 3 dots from Emu are frying me. He was like, what the fuck is this? This is hilarious to look back at. Whatever you say, man. I definitely think it's history repeating itself, not from long ago, but I mean, not hundreds of years of history, but Shabondi. The Shabondi is repeating. There's some people wanting Dragon to come help Luffy. If Elbaf is still intact by the time you're leaving this island, come and see me again. Is Oda planning a second time skip? Then someone brought this up and said, in any case, I'll use my autumn rain to hone my skills as a swordsman. I'm going to collect all the famous swords that have fallen into the hands of evil men. I'll get the 12 supreme great swords, the 21 excellent great swords, and the 40 fine great swords, even if it kills me. And what if Dragon stabbed two with his son? No, it's not like Dragon should defeat Emu, but I feel like we've already established most likely Emu is going to have to leave. But wouldn't it be nice, like, who was the one who trained Luffy in the time skip last time? It was Rayleigh. Could it be Shanks? Could it be Dragon? Wouldn't it be nice to see them again? Who said they should defeat fucking Emu? The new world isn't for the weak. We have Law. We have Kid. We have Luffy. But this man, why did they get defeated? He was chased down by Blackbeard. He insulted Shanks. He was stupid. He deserved that. I'm just joking. What did they do again? I don't remember exactly. Emu has a higher chance to sky split with Loki than Luffy. What does that mean? There was no other reason to depict this part not in black than to show us he doesn't have a scar and therefore it's not Luffy. Were there people thinking he was Luffy? Like a time traveler? What's the reason? They shouldn't compare getting defeated by the final boss versus getting defeated by the area boss. I don't think they're saying it's the exact same thing, but I just think they're showing that the new world is a very, very tough place. No matter who you end up fighting, like, there are enemies out there that we can't imagine. Like, isn't that Goku's whole thing? Never, ever get cocky. Just, there's always someone stronger. Keep exercising. Keep preparing, you know? Here's an interesting observation for you from 3 Skull Joe. Luffy got an egg-shaped scar from the wound inflicted by Akainu. With the wound now inflicted by Emu, that scar would be the shape of a 6-point star. You're assuming, I guess. Why? Why would it be that do we know he slashed or he just stabbed? If Luffy were to be scarred once more in the future, this time horizontally, the scar would take the shape of an 8-pointed wheel, the Dharma Chakra. And that means... So, your theory is based on the fact that you're assuming it's like this, and assuming he gets stabbed another time like this, then it would be this. Like, come on. But I guess, if you say it now and it ends up being true, that's pretty fucking cool. That's exactly what theorizing is. That'd be wild. But I just find it funny a little bit, like, for this symbol to be true, you're making like a lot of huge assumptions. Like, that's not so much a theory, I guess, as just, wouldn't it be cool if? Why would Livy go back to the past just to lose to Emu? Oh, that's a theory? Oh, but yeah, why would he do? I don't know. That was a theory. There's so many. I don't know. We should do a day where you share me the. No, but on one hand, actually, people have asked me to react to certain videos that have in-depth theories. But on the other hand, I'm like, but if they were right, I'm not surprised. Some people are too smart, and I'm not, and then at least I get to be surprised. I'm glad I tuned into the stream today. Listening to these mouth-breathing comments make me feel just that much more sane. Sabo trying to hit his head hard enough to get memory loss so he can forget about Luffy getting donutted like he did with Ace. I was ready for the beating, but N-word just killed my MC. If Emu is truly using the other 19 founders' weapons, this would mean he has yet to show his true ability. He would parallel Gilgamesh with the gates of Babylon. That'd be pretty cool. Toki's devil fruit is proof they can't travel back in time. Oh, well, her, not with her devil fruit. What if there's a devil fruit that time travels the other way? Like, what is that devil fruit called? Toki no Mi? I forgot. Dun 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 dun. So if it's the Toki no Mi, it could be the. I wanted to like swap it around, like the opposite, but I don't know. Ikot no Mi doesn't sound very good. Take a look at the names of the sword attacks that Emu used. Nemesis, Blade of Judgment. Gram, Blade of Wrath. Stigma, Blade of Hatred and Void. Blade of... One after another, I think Emu has a total of 20 different sword skills, each linked to one of the 20 founders. It's interesting that Mihawk had an attack in the game called Void. What game? Okay, there aren't really any theories that I'm seeing. It's just people freaking out about... Actually, that's crazy. The fact someone here is reacting like this. Because it's kind of crazy, like last week, we had this whole build up and people were complaining so much about Luffy landing shots, even though Emu is like weakened and basically distracted half the time thinking about Joy Boy, and like it's like his punches never left scratches or anything, like it didn't really affect him, and people were complaining. And then even then a lot of us were excited, oh my gosh, this lineup, this big moment where it ends with Luffy versus Emu, round 2. Bye, Juno. Enjoy. I agree with Waleed. Never say never. There are different kinds of, like, there are fruits where abilities can overlap. Just because Aokiji has the ice fruit doesn't mean Brook can't use ice abilities, for example, you know? Just because one fruit can't travel to the past doesn't mean. But not that I think that um anyone traveled to the past, and I didn't know that was a theory, but I'm just saying never say never. Look how cute this actually is if you think about it. Hmm? Both Emu and the Joy Boy speak like children, but they do not sound exactly the same. Joy Boy sounds rougher and more casual, while Emu sounds polite and well brought up. Joy Boy says oto seo, which means respond or come in. This normally sounds formal and adult like in Japanese, however, it's written in hiragana instead of kanji. This helps Japanese readers understand that the speaker is actually a child using grown up words. What? Doesn't a lot of manga have a lot of hiragana because they know who the target audience is? Hmm. Looking closely at the first page, when Emu asks Joy Boy who he is, Joy Boy hesitates and thinks for a moment before answering, I'm Joy Boy. This may suggest that Joy Boy is not his real name and that for some reason he didn't want to reveal his true name or identity. In the present, Emu says Joy Boy is already dead, as if trying to convince himself. A vein is visible on Emu's forehead as he says it, showing intense emotion. This may suggest that Emu's feelings toward Joy Boy are not simply hatred. Emu may still feel attached to the friendship they once shared. I would really like if there was another training arc, but instead of Rayleigh, it's Shanks. Imagine after all this time. See, there are people who think this. I'm becoming more convinced Luffy is Joy Boy himself. But I mean, it specifically, maybe that's true that Oda specifically left that, like, no, don't think that, no, no, no. Imu just pulled a Gear 4 Snake Man like attack on Luffy. Luffy dodged by stretching his head, and Imu redirected his punch like Luffy does with Gear 4. Oh, that's what happened. Damn, it didn't land for me at first. It was a bit difficult to follow. Okay. Any other specific thoughts, questions, theories? Remember when we shared this last week with 1187? I was like, whoa, what a cool parallel. I know how to spot a guy who's about to fight the fight of his life when I see one. But didn't all these people lose? What fight? What didn't they lose? Didn't they lose? The emu victims list in Elbaf: Joy Boy, Davy D. Jones, Dozan, Chebek, the entire Old Jin, King Harold, Brook, Usopp, Sanji, Zoro, Loki, Luffy. What do you mean victims? When did Usopp even? Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. What? Imunko? Oh, right. I think that the fact the fruit doesn't allow traveling back in time is Odo's way of saying he doesn't want it to happen. Yeah, but we're not saying it's gonna happen. We're just saying never say never. That's all I think. Bye. Yeah, I think for me also that was wild. Not never easy to see Luffy like that, but he'll be okay. My final hope is just that, as you guys said, Imu has to go back, and in the end, I'm hoping. Imagine Shanks come back, but why would Shanks come back? He just left Elbaf. But how can he? How far can he really be? Do you think he might not feel the need to, like? Don't you think that Haki and the shit is just blasting miles away, and he will notice and come back? I don't know, but I'm hoping for I don't know, not a time skip. Which anime, here's my question. Which anime or manga has done like a really good training arc? Not a time skip necessarily. That's actually good questions. Best results after a time skip in anime versus and then the best training arc in anime. That'd be a cool comparison video. Imuko. Okay, but I think I read all the manga posts. I read as much tweets as I could, but no one really had theories like other times. But I'm so shocked, honestly, after last week's discussion that Jinbei got this moment. Like, the irony is hilarious. But yeah. Please, though, before you comment, make sure you're addressing something I actually said. If not, I won't bother with you, cause I get annoyed too fast with stupid people. I'm sorry, I'm joking. I get annoyed too fast with people who make straw man arguments, not straw hat arguments. I think One Piece did it best when it comes to time skip. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't seen a lot of time skips in anime, so I don't have much to compare, but that was the way that it built up. And then to see a little bit of where everyone was and how everyone changed, that was freaking cool. I love time skips actually, though. But I hate when the characters don't look different after. I know, to be fair, that, you know, most people don't change from 30 to 33. I don't think I look that different. But especially in Battle Shonen, like, they've been training, they should look a little bit different. And the younger people change faster. From 20 to 23 versus 30 to 33, I don't know. Goku changed a lot, yeah. From Dragon Ball to Z. Oh my gosh, that moment when he showed up, that was so great. Naruto is the worst time skip. I don't remember. They got a bit taller though, I think. But yeah, I think it's, in general, I think it's really cool when mangaka change outfits for characters. But I also understand why, for simplicity's sake, for time management, because these people work really hard in really short amounts of time. They have to pump out a lot of work, right? And not just the drawing, they have to think of really good stories. So it's not like I'm criticizing if they didn't do it. I'm just saying that I really like when they can manage to change outfits or looks or all kinds of stuff to show the passage of time. It's like, enhanced the experience for me. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm gonna wind down my desk and just hang out for a while. Maybe play some Pokemon Yellow. Thank you for reading with me. It was so much fun today. And I feel so vindicated with that Jinbei moment. Even if I don't think, it doesn't prove that he's stronger once again. But it proves, like, if you listen to actually what I said, I feel like that vindicates my personal feelings. Like, I always was just speaking from a personal perspective. But I feel like, oh my God, a week later, I get vindicated like that. Thank you. No wonder you told me. I asked Booty yesterday, please read the chapter and just let me know if I need to take a break, because I didn't want the fans from last week to kind of make me feel negativity because I have to defend these opinions, or not even, but I have to fight them. Like, I just don't want to repeat. I just want to enjoy. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to enjoy with certain people hanging around. And I was like, so if you think I should just take a break, read the chapter, let me know if I should rather, save three chapters, and then I'll just read them all at once so that we don't get stuck on any single scene or conversation. I felt like if I do 3 at a time, maybe it'll flow a little better. And Booty was like, no, read the chapter. And then now I see why. I mean, it was risky to skip it with that finale, but I knew you would like the Jinbei. That's true. I completely just forgot. I keep blocking that part out. It's not a nice visual to end with, but and then no chapter next week. Oh no, could you? But thank you for a great story. See you next time. Bye.